What if I told you that buying your dream truck could quickly turn into that of your nightmares? We've seen the mistakes happen. I've made them myself. I'll try to get a steal on a pre-owned lifted truck. Today I'm gonna pull back the curtain on all the red flags, the missteps that you need to watch out for when buying a lifted truck. All right, number one, guys. So when buying a lifted truck, buy it from a shop that does it consistently. If you buy one from a shop that, has a few here and there, maybe their techs have a little bit of experience, but if they got one lifted truck, two lifted trucks, and then 300 non-lifted trucks, they probably don't have that much experience with lifted trucks. And so in that case, if something does fail down the line when you're driving out of that dealership or a month down the line, they won't know how to fix it, and they won't be able to help you out because they can't stand by it. And that actually leads right into my second point, is the dealership actually doing the work. It's even worse than not having that much experience. Maybe in some cases with little experience, you can still fix every now and again issues. But if they didn't do the work at all, they don't know what the heck is on the truck. So you got a 6-inch kit with all these different brackets and cross members and extenders for the brake, all these different things, right? And they don't know what the heck these things are. And they don't even know if this kit has it. And so even if they have these trucks, even if they have several of them, and they didn't actually do the work, then you have no backing whatsoever. When that truck comes back or has an issue, they're gonna have to rely on an outside source that did the work to get information for you. And that can very easily be past the phone, right? Was that what the game was called? It was where you pass the phone down the table and you start with one sentence, and then it goes into something else, goes into something else, goes into something else. By the time you hear about it, you might have completely wrong information, instead of being able to take it to the direct source of who built this truck, or being able to take it to the direct source and the direct source says, well, there you're gonna have to deal with Ford because Ford sold you the truck, and then Ford says it right back. And it causes a whole bunch of issues as to going to a regular shop that does lift these vehicles on a daily basis. That doesn't happen because those folks are the people that built the truck for you. Even if it's a small shop, if it's a small shop but they're pumping out 20 vehicles a week, they're pumping out 10 vehicles a week, I trust those guys way more than a large dealership that is getting their supplies from a spot that does 300 vehicles a week. Because then guess what? Now you've got possible miscommunication between these two companies. So get the truck that is from a direct source, from that shop, with the techs there on site, able to back the work. That way you don't have the miscommunication from other shops. You don't have the possibility of the truck going down and something going wrong with the upper control arm, ball joint, whatever it is, right? You can just call them, say, hey, hopefully they have a warranty on it. Most places that do them quite often should have a warranty to back it. I know we do here. Say, hey, ball joint just failed. Okay, cool, bring it on in. We'll schedule you maybe a week out, give you a free loaner, whatever it is, you have something to ride around in. That'd be nice, at least. In this video, I'm not trying to hype up our shop, but we do give complimentary loaners out. This is more informational, and just get it fixed, right? Because they just did the work. You don't want to have somebody hassle you for 2 months while you are unable to drive the vehicle. So go to a shop that did it. If they are a reliable source and you know that they did the work, they should be able to go ahead and comp that work for you, giving you the more security that you need when buying a vehicle, even though it's modified. Number 3, check your parts. Check the wheels and tires, check the lift kit, everything on it. Lift kit, I'm gonna touch on wheels and tires here. Lift kit is insanely important as well, depending on the way you drive, but let's just start off with wheels and tires. Wheels and tires wise, you always wanna check those to make sure that they're not junk. Make sure you're not putting junk tires on a lifted truck, right? If you want to buy junk tires and maybe the truck is cheaper and it's in your budget, cool. But if they don't tell you, and you don't, this is going to lead into my other point, you don't ride around in the truck before purchasing it, then you're going to get on the highway and realize these things are humming more than a Humvee, and you're just down the road, and it is absurdly annoying. I know because I have mud tires and it's really annoying. But make sure you check the wheel and tire package. There are certain wheels that will flake faster, especially with chrome. Doesn't really matter what wheel you go with. For instance, Moto Metal. It's not a junk wheel. It's cheaper, but recognize that you're riding around in a Moto Metal, and maybe the chrome is going to flake more. Maybe the black paint on the wheel is not as high quality as fuels. Whatever it is, do your research on the wheel and make sure that you're getting bang for your buck when purchasing that wheel. I know we use Fuels, 4Plays, we use American Forces and JTX. They're great companies. We price our trucks like that. I mean, we're gonna give you a good deal on the wheels that you're buying it from us, but like at the same point in time, you are getting quality stuff. Now, with that being said, you wanna swap it to something that'll fit your budget, that's a possibility. Recognize that you are making that choice. Do the research on whether or not those wheels and tires, you know, what the mileage is, what the load range is on those tires, especially HD trucks, 2500s and up. If you're doing tow, make sure that the load rating is the amount that you need for what you're hauling. If it's not, and you got an E-load tire on an HD truck, you can ride around in that, but it's not gonna work. If you're hauling something, it'll explode if you haul something too heavy for it, right? So make sure in that case, you have an F-load, you have a 12 ply or like a 14 ply, right? And so when you don't do that, and they don't explain that to you, that's where situations can get messy for you. And then you're riding down the road, and then we go back to point 2, where that company doesn't know what they put on their trucks, or that company put it on, but they only put on one every now and again, and so they can't actually compensate the value of that tire for you because they don't have the money to. Just different stuff like that. Make sure that you're getting taken care of. That leads on to my next point of looking over everything and also test driving it. You test drive these vehicles because though a lifted truck looks sweet until they're not, right? That's a life lesson we all learned when we were, 10 years old. Stuff that looks good isn't always good for you. When I first drove in a lifted truck, there are a few aspects that I had to get used to. Make sure that you get used to these as well. When you're parking, when you're going through parking garages, you're going through the toll road on the highway, you're going through drive-thrus, all this different stuff is limited by the fact that your truck is lifted. It's much larger, especially if you have wider wheels and tires. Do they look freaking sweet? Yes. They look absolutely, there's a reason I have this job. I get to play with basically my childhood dreams all day. But it's not a bad thing, but realize it's gonna ride different. You're much higher. You have aftermarket components on it. It may ride more comfortable in some cases, but most of the time you're gonna feel a little bit more of the road. And with larger tires, especially if they are not as good tires like I was saying beforehand, you'll feel the road a lot more and you'll hear those tires. Typically with the stuff we put on our trucks here, that's not the case with grapplers, with Toyos, with Furies on some vehicles. All these tires we've tested enough to the point where we know that it's not a crazy noise coming from these things. And that's why we put them on our trucks, because we do so many trucks, we want to make sure that our clientele base complaints are limited. And so test drive them, because if it's your first time riding around in these vehicles, though it looks sweet, you might not actually like the ride of them versus one of an F-150. That's stock. It rides different. It's harder to get into parking spaces. It's tougher to go through drive-thrus. If you have 12 wides, just don't go through drive-thrus. Except Chick-fil-A, they widen theirs, it's beautiful. But there are a lot of different aspects. So take it on the highway. We always tell our guys to take it like 25 minutes away. And then they typically park it themselves, unless they park it right in front of the shop, which is fine, we'll pull it in for them. It is nerve-wracking your first time, but definitely worth test driving it. If you don't do it, I guarantee you're gonna get off the lot and be like, or your wife or your son is gonna be like, I don't know what you just bought. It looks cool, but doesn't ride like I thought it would, right? And so definitely do test drive it. Make sure you're positive that it's good on your end. What are we on? 4? I can't tell you the amount of sales customers that have since called 2-3 years down the road saying, hey, I curved my wheel, I did so-and-so, I need a new tire. What's on my build sheet, right? And luckily we have records of everything. Most shops will have records of everything. It's a lot easier if you just ask for a copy of your build sheet for your lifted vehicle beforehand when you're getting the vehicle done, so that person can just print it off, give it to you, stick it in your glove box. If anything goes down, you have to take it to a shop that's further away. We ship trucks out to Oregon, California, Montana, so it's insanely difficult for those folks to come back to the East Coast, especially on one tire and wheel. But get your build sheet. You're taking it to whatever shop, make sure that you have it, because that build sheet is gonna be what saves you from looking for ages for this specific part for a lift kit, or whether or not the ball joint is factory, or ordering the wrong parts, right? That's even more annoying, because you think that you're getting the right part in 2 days, shop calls you, hey, don't fit. Look at that, I gotta wait another 2 weeks. It's like, this is great. Or, the wheel with the right amount of backspacing. That just saves you from all that, because they should have all the part numbers on them, and the shop can just go ahead and get the part, right? And they just gotta tell them the part number, boom, like that, you know what's in the kit, you get the right part. Super simple way of avoiding so much annoying activity. Get that build sheet. Number 5, owning a lifted vehicle. You've got to know the maintenance needs that you have just applied yourself to be responsible for. You're adding a lot of different aftermarket parts, wheels, tires, lift kit. There is tasks that come with that stuff to keep it up, right? So when it comes to wheels, your forged wheels, polish them. Don't polish them incorrectly with acid. Polish them, honestly, when you're washing them, forged wheels should be washed. I love Dawn dish soap. If it's safe on ducts, it's safe on wheels. Dawn dish soap cleans them real nice. But then polish them right after. There's forged wheel polish all throughout the internet. You can look it up. And then alignments. Definitely need to do alignments more often than regular vehicles because you've got massive wheels and tires on there and you've got a whole new lift kit. We use Hunter. Hunter is a phenomenal alignment machine. With Hunter alignment, you should be able to look up on Google just Hunter alignment near me, and some shops should come up near you. Hunter alignment I find to be the best alignment machine for lifted trucks. With the alignment, you got to get it done at least once a year, if not twice. I recommend doing it twice. Second part of that is your mounting and balancing. Every now and again, since you've got very large wheels and tires, we'll see it come up, you know, on a vehicle maybe 3 years down the road, whatever it is. It's usually the sign of that is a tiny bit of vibration, and that can come up very briefly for a time period. Sometimes it even goes away. Lift kits, you got new shocks and struts, you got new cross members, you got new leaf springs, whatever it is. When washing your vehicle, make sure you wash that undercarriage. There are a lot of attachments online that can just push undercarriage wash through. If you have like, what's it called, a power hose? Power wash. Dang, I'm dumb. But you got a power washer there, a ton of attachments for undercarriage cleaning. And so always keep that undercarriage clean with all those parts. They are all working together. One gets rusty, it's gonna impact the other one. And then your shocks and struts, I would say it's typical service on them. Do realize even though they're aftermarket, they still need to be changed out every now and again. The higher quality you go will be the longer, but 60,000 is a good reminder that it's probably coming up. 60,000 miles that is, to change those shocks and struts out. You have a higher quality one, maybe it'll push to 80, 90, but do keep that in mind around that 60,000 mark to get them checked. It's super easy, quick service to get them checked. So yeah, those are the 5 things that you need to do and recognize before buying a used or pre-owned lifted vehicle. Keep all these things in mind. These are major red flags. Just go down the list. If you do, you should be all right buying a vehicle. Before doing any more research on where you should buy a lifted vehicle, recognize that Krietz builds all these trucks months beforehand. We quality control them, so there's no problems here. If there is a problem, we did the work. And so recognize that we know how to fix it. If you want a lifted truck or pre-owned truck, come to the experts. We sell about 40 freaking trucks a week. But we can definitely say that we back our work. And so if you want one, please visit us or give us a call at 301-694-4642. We'd be happy to supply you with one. Subscribe to Krietz Customs to win a free set of wheels and tires. If we hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, we'll be giving away a set just like this, a 35, 12, 50, 22 Fury Country Hunter on a 22x12 fuel wheel. If you want those, go ahead and subscribe to Krietz Customs, and we will see you when we give you those wheels away.